Krishna, dear friends, I see more devotees have joined. Thank you. Akshay, Athar, Bionto, Vedant, Vinita, Dashit, and Nishita for joining. Vedant is joining first time. So maybe Vedant, you can share with us where are you joining from and a little bit about yourself and something so we can know a little bit more about you and welcome you to the club.
Yeah, so my name is Vedant Tandigol. I'm coming in from Rochester Hills, Michigan. I'm in eighth grade. I play tennis, and I go to Van Hoosen Middle School.
That's awesome. I think we have a lot of tennis fans here. Who all play tennis? Raise your hand. Okay, Vinita plays tennis. Wow. And Jashit also. That's cool. And Vedant, how you got interested in the path of like spirituality or what brought you here?
I was just interested.
Was
So,
interested in more about Gita, about scriptures.
yeah.
Awesome. Your mother said a lot of good things about you, and so I'm sure we are going to learn a lot from you and each other. So is everyone happy to have Vedant on the in our readings and discussions? Wow. Let's so throw some emojis out there to welcome Vedant. Wonderful. Thank you, Vedant. So we meet every Sunday evening for the most part, and we discuss something from the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, which are the two main books. And we also have very interactive discussions, quizzes, and chanting, which is a very, very important limb of bhakti. Talking about chanting, I was reading some nice points on this topic. So thought to share with all of you, and then we will do the chanting. Is it okay? So we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, right? What's the meaning of mantra? Who knows? Anyone knows? What does mantra mean? The Sanskrit word mantra, what does it mean? What does man mean? Man. Yes. I have to help you to get the extract the essence. Yes, Sampada.
Man means mind and draw means to control it.
Okay. Was it a guess or like almost?
It was a guess.
Yes. Okay. So good. Very good. Very close. Man means mind. Tra means to relieve. Hmm? Or to control is also not a bad way to say the meaning because ultimately, if it's relieved of all the impurities, it will naturally be easy to control, right? So man means mind, right? Tra means to relieve, right? Now relieve of what? Relieve of all the impurities, relieve of all the distress, anxiety, troubles, stress, difficulties, hypertension. There are more mental disorders, my dear friends, even in childhood. There are people who are seeing psychiatrists who are having, anxiety issues and stuff. So if one practices this chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, even from the very young age, as recommended by the scriptures, one will not be, one will have a much stronger, confident, and stressful life with Krishna as the center, the Supreme Lord as the center. So the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, is essentially a prayer, right? Essentially a prayer to Sri Krishna. We have the word Krishna. And what does Hare mean? What does Hare mean? Yes, Sampada?
Srimati Radharani.
Yes, it means Srimati Radharani, the eternal female internal energy of the Lord. Like when we say Radha And when you're addressing, we say Radhe. Hmm? Is it making sense? The word Radha becomes Radhe when we're addressing Hey Radhe, Hey Krishna. So Krishna remains Krishna, that's fine, but the the feminine or striling in Sanskrit becomes Radhe. So Hara becomes Hare. Hara is the energy of the Lord. Hari, Hara. Okay? O Krishna, O energy of the Supreme Lord, please engage me in your service. That's a prayer. That's a mood of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And when you do it on the personal meditation, it's called japa. So what's the best time for japa? Any thoughts? Best time for, okay, when is your mind most um or the least disturbed? When is our mind least disturbed? If, yes, Vedant?
In the morning.
In the morning. Okay. Everyone agrees, most part. Why? Has anyone thought why is it least disturbed or perturbed in the morning? Have you thought of that? Think about it and give a response. Why is it least disturbed in the morning? Why not at like 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. in the night or midday, 12 noon? Is my question making sense? You all agree it's least disturbed in the morning? My next question is why? Okay, let's understand with a simple example. You use some form of gadget, whether it's phone, whether it's laptop or desktop, everyone uses, right? If you have tons of apps open, tons of applications open, tons of programs open, tons of things open, what happens? The processor speed goes down, right? It happens. And what do your parents may recommend? Okay, do a master reboot, restart. With a lot of programs open, you have lots of files open, lots of folders open, and sometimes we get lost. How many of you have experienced this? You have like 10, 20 folders open, and sometimes like, where am I looking? Right? It happens. How many of you experienced this in person? Raise your hand. Right? It may happen with the books also. You have 10 books open and don't know which one to read from where. Hmm. So the point is, similarly, when the day begins, we get up from the sleep, which is like a reset, right? Sleep is like a tiny reset button, right? Whatever 6, 7 hours we sleep, 8 hours, whatever hours you sleep, it's the reset button, and the mind is fresh and less disturbed. So it's best to chant in the morning, especially the early morning hours before you go to school, right? It's best. But due to any reason, if one can't, then choose the next best other times of the day, afternoon, evening, that's fine. So mind is less preoccupied with activities, right? Like for adults, office thoughts, what should I cook for the breakfast, dinner, like all those are like, and especially most other people are sleeping, is it not? My dear friends, whether in spiritual life or material life, one habit which will make you successful for sure is getting up early. How many of you agree with that? At least theoretically. Hmm? You accept it. Whether you follow it or not, that's a different question, right? You accept it because it's scientifically proven, and people who are in those, whether you take big people in great positions or great devotees who are pure, or in any aspect you see, the morning time, especially before even the sun rises, if we align our clock with the clock of the sun or the nature, we will be very, very happy, glorious, successful in both dimensions of life. Trust me. You go to school, you go to college, you go to, bhakti yoga, any aspect of life, you'll be very happy and successful, and especially in spiritual life. And that one habit, if you can make, the earlier you can make, hmm, I'm not saying to sleep less, right? What we're saying to align our clock with the sun. When sun rises, you rise before. Sun is set, you don't have to be awake till 11 or 12. You can go to bed early, right? Whether it's 9, 9:30, 10 at max, and get up early. Early to bed, early to rise, right? You've heard this famous slogan. So therefore, morning is very, very important. Japa meditation is best performed on beats, which assists us, right? We can chant without beats also, but this helps us to assist in how does this assist? Who will tell? How does it assist us? Does the Japamala assist you in Japa meditation? Yes. How? Yes, Vedi.
It gives you something like tangible to focus on, so your mind will at least know that you're moving the beat and it's not just in your head.
Very good. Yes, it helps our sense of touch also. We are able to engage our sense of touch. Whether you have the neem beads or the tulsi beads, initially you can use the neem beads. It's representing the lotus feet of Krishna. So you are focusing on touching the feet of the Lord. And you know, the mind is, the more senses are involved, the less mind will have room to distract. Otherwise, what we may happen, we may start fidgeting with our pen. Hare Krishna, like imagine like this. It could happen, right? Hmm? And sometimes I see people are in the class and they are cracking fingers or they are playing with their pen or they are, it happens. But now we have another sense to engage. Oh, our hands are engaged. And it also assists in counting. It will be hard, like if I say, oh, you have to count, then our focus will be in the head. Where is the count? Oh, is it 54? Is it 78? Is it 89? We'll focus more on the counting than on hearing the sound. So in that way also, in the counting aspect, it assists. Make sense? Perfect. Okay. So now let's take our japa beads and do one round together. And we'll do the simple Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is simple but yet very, very powerful. So you can take your beads and we'll all chant together. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshtarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram, Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Hare
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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram. Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram. Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram. Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram. Ram Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram. Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram. Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Ram Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram. Ram Ram Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna Hare Ram. Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram. Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram. Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram. Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram. Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram. Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram. Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Ram Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna Hare Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna.
Ram Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna.
Hare Ram 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare Ram
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna.
Ram, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
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 Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
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 Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram
Ram,
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 Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
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 Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Now she turn it on.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna,
Shri
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Chaitanya
Ram,
Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauri Bhaktavinda Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarini Jaladhara Shashivarnao Gopavesho Kishoro Sahachara Ganavrindae Kridamanao Vrajeshu Natavarajitavesho Nilapitambaradya Jagat Janana Hetu Ramakrishna Natosmi. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, please keep your cameras on so I can see all of your lotus face. Um, and because if one turns off now, then others feel it's okay to turn off, right? And then it flows through. Okay. So unless you have a very, very strong pre-approved reason to keep your camera off, don't keep your camera off. Okay. Because it's contagious, both on and off, right? So in the last few sessions, We were talking about the 6 limbs of surrender, right? Anyone recalls? You discussed, or I asked to memorize a verse also, which some of you shared. Since I had a busy day, I didn't get a chance to hear all of the recordings, but I see some of you posted. So who all have memorized that verse? Okay, Lakshay, Vedi, good. So go ahead, Vedi, and then Lakshay, please recite. Yeah, Vedi.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Anukuyasya sankalpa pratikuyasya varjanam rakshishyati vishvaso goptritve varanam tatha atmanikshesh निक्षेपकार्पण्ये
Yeah, Vidha.
षड्विधा शरणागति.
Excellent. Very nice. Yes, Lakshay.
Krishna. Anukulyasya sankalpa patikulyasya varjanam rakshishyati vishwaso gopite varanam tata atmanikshepakarpanye sadvida
Sharon.
sharanagati.
Wonderful. So, if you have not memorized, you can memorize, please. These are the 6 limbs of surrender. And by the way, we also discuss about the number 1 to 10 in Sanskrit. I saw one or two of you posted that. How many of you memorized that? They did good. Okay, please try. It will help. You want to learn Sanskrit? That's a good place to start. Mishti Ethereal, how are you? The light is right in your back. Try to switch so that light should fall on your face, not on your back. Then it'll be much clearer.
Is this better? Like,
Somewhat. Yeah, we keep moving
okay.
more.
I'll try to change the position.
Yeah. When the light is in photography, or this is a kind of a standard rule, so the light should fall where the camera from the camera. Let's say the camera is here, and the light should fall behind the camera and go towards the face. If you do it opposite, the picture would not come clear. Okay. Anyways, so we'll talk about bhakti. We'll talk about bhakti, and many people think that spiritual life is all about faith. So today's question is very special. Is bhakti scientific? Is Krishna consciousness a science, or it's about faith? How many of you say it's about faith only? It's not scientific. Okay, Mishti Thiril, it's much better. It's like day and light difference. You feel the difference too?
Yeah, I can see better now.
Did you know that, or it was like a revelation for you?
No, I just didn't have time to adjust my position before the class. I just was gonna wait.
Okay, good to see you. And by the way, I saw your counting and stuff. Good job. So yes, so how many of you say it's all about faith? Raise your hand. It's all about faith. Okay, how many of you say it's very scientific? You have to pick one at least. Okay, one more time. Please pick one. It's okay. No right, wrong. Just whatever comes from your heart, just pick. Okay, whatever you feel. It's about faith. Hmm. Okay. Okay, it's very scientific. So no one feels it's scientific. Okay. When we say scientific, what comes to your mind? Give me some words which come to your mind when we say, oh, this is scientific. Mm. Yes, Vinita.
Like theories and hypotheses and things like that.
Okay, theories, hypotheses. Like, how many of you have done some experimentation? Everyone has heard this word, hypothesis, right? So give me an example of an experiment where you did, and what are the steps? Is it a hypothesis, right? Hmm? We starts with a question, is it not? Right? Who all have done some experimentation? Okay. So think of that. Starts with the question. Then you do some. I'll share my screen also, by the way, so you can all see. Today's topic is Krishna consciousness, is spiritual life scientific, or is it all about just faith only? It starts with a question, is it not? Then we form a hypothesis, correct? Then there is experimentation. Hmm? And then we do some observations and record our observation. And finally, we draw some conclusion and share our finding. Is that standard, typical experimentation process, more or less? Everyone agrees to that? Hmm? So we'll see how it applies in spiritual life also, right? There are three ways of attaining knowledge, my dear friends, correct? What are the three ways of attaining knowledge? Pratyaksha Praman, Anuman Praman, and Shabda Praman. The word Sanskrit, these are Sanskrit words. Praman means way, or you can say like a theory or proof. Hmm? Pratyaksha means what we see is what we believe. Hmm? Or what we hear, or what we, like directly perceive, pratyaksha. How many of you have seen, how many of you believe in Statue of Liberty? That there is a place or kind of a thing called Statue of Liberty exists? Okay. How many of you believe in Taj Mahal, that there is a place called Taj Mahal, it exists? Lakshay, you don't believe? You don't pay attention, engage. The more you engage, the more Uh, Rishit, I'm not able to see either one of you. Please try to, where's Jashit? I can't see Jashit.
He
He's
went to the
invisible. Oh, okay, he's not there. Okay. I thought he's being blurred out by the, okay. Okay. So you believe there is Statue of Liberty, right? You believe there is Taj Mahal? Okay, how many of you have seen both of these places? Okay, some of you have seen both of them. How about you believe in Mahatma Gandhi? How many of you believe Mahatma Gandhi existed? Okay. How many of you have seen him? No one, right? No one has seen, right? But we still believe. Hmm? So what does it mean? We haven't seen through our Pratyaksha Praman, correct? We still believe. How many of you have seen proton? You know, proton, electrons, neutrons. Have you read these terms somewhere? How many of you believe in that? How many of you have seen? No one. So, Pratyaksha Praman is not the best source of knowledge. How? We'll see some things here. Okay. How many of you see here inclined lines or tilted lines? You see some, right? So you see they're moving or they're at some angle, right? But actually they're all straight lines. Isn't it interesting? They're all straight lines, but the mind makes them feel that they are like converging or diverging, right? Do you feel like the two lines at some point they're converging, hmm? Or diverging? How many of you feel? Raise your hand. But they're all parallel also, my dear friends. None of these lines are converging or diverging. They're all parallel. Any two lines you take, they're like parallel, right? If you pay attention, they are parallel. You understand parallel? That means they won't meet. You keep stretching them, although it may seem that they are converging or diverging. The mind tricks us. One more example. How many of you see the triangle here? You all see the triangle, right? But there's actually no triangle, right? But these shapes are making one look like a triangle. So there are multiple examples. So basically, Pratyaksha Praman lies on our senses, which keeps changing. And it was written by the ordinary human beings who are prone to four defects. What are the four defects? Who knows the four defects in the Pratyaksha Praman? Think of the four defects in direct sense perception. Yes, Beyonto.
You might not be able to see something.
Yes, imperfect senses, that's one. Our senses are not perfect, right? Therefore, we take helps of telescope, microscope, binoculars, and right? Like if you have a small thing, let's say I have a pen, which it says ball pen here, right? It says ball pen. Okay. Now, if I bring it very, very close, just right near my eyelid, will I be able to see? Try it out. You won't be able to see. Although it's so close to you, you won't be able to see. Just like, you know. And similarly, if it's 1 mile away, will you be able to see? Hmm? But the eagles can see. Some eagles can see. They can see from a far distance. In short, our senses are imperfect. Hmm? Then tendency to be illusioned. We saw some examples. For example, you taste something very bitter, hmm, and then you taste a neutral thing, it will appear sweet. Correct? You touch a if your hands are very, very cold, hmm, let's say you just came from the snow, and then if you touch even a normal object at a no room temperature, it appears warm, right? Correct? But technically it's not warm. So it's all relative. So tendency to be illusion, tendency to make mistakes, and imperfect senses. Hmm. And even we can make mistake. Correct? And the fourth is tendency to cheat. A lot of people, even they see like there are a lot of theories in science that people falsify to cheat others for material reasons. So in short, Pratyaksha Praman is not a great way. Hmm. So imperfect senses, tendency to be illusion, tendency to make mistakes, and cheating propensity. So continuing further, yeah, I was mentioning some of these examples, right? Like we believe in these things. Hmm. How many of you use sunscreen? Huh? How many of you have seen ultraviolet rays? Does it really protect us? Do you have some proof? You have seen ultraviolet rays? How many of you have seen? I'm not promoting this by any way. I'm not against it either, but it's not like a brand promotion. But the point you're getting, right? You cannot perceive directly. We are putting faith, my dear friends, in every aspect of life. Is it not? When we drive on the road, are we not putting faith that the truck behind us is not going to ram into our car? It could happen, it happens. Accidents happen on road or no? Right? The person driving next to us is suddenly not going to steer all the way into our car. Are we not putting faith? How many have been to restaurants? Anyone goes to restaurant? Okay, everyone, I guess. So we put faith How many of you have seen what they have put in the preparation? Do you know? How many of you sat in a flight or a train? Hmm? Do you check if the pilot is there, right? Do you check if the pilot's license is there? Hey, show me your license, show me your qualification. When you go to a doctor, you say, hey, show me your degree. Hmm? Do we ask for degree? Give our proof of records, how many surgeries you have performed, right? We put faith. How many of you been to amusement park? And by the way, accidents happen, doctors make mistake, things go wrong in the restaurants, right? Is it not? Like sometimes they may add an ingredient they don't intend to, and food poisoning may happen, right? How many have been to amusement park or sat on some rides which are a little bit riskier, like roller coaster and stuff, right? Do accidents happen there? They do happen. Aren't we still risking our life? Come on, like go so high and there's like a 360-degree flip, right? Stuff goes wrong. We still put faith in so many things. But when it comes to spiritual life, we should not become unreasonably doubtful. We're putting faith in every aspect of like driving on the road, right? In flights, we put faith, right? Accidents happen there also, right? So in every aspect, you go to a barber, right? You go to a school bus, you're going to a surgery, you go to a restaurant, you're putting faith in every aspect of life. Do you all agree with that? Aren't we putting faith? Hmm? We're putting faith every day. Hmm? In almost every aspect of life. So, bhakti or spiritual Bhagavad Gita, it's not about if we have faith or not, it's about in whom and where we place our faith. So everyone has putting some faith. So let's read this. Who wants to read 17.3 from Bhagavad Gita? It's on your screen. Yes. Arthur?
O son of Bharata, according to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one involves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired.
Very nice. Okay, so we will see how Krishna consciousness is very, very scientific process. Okay, so what happens? We ask the question. These are the 6 steps. Ask a question. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Jigyasa is question, right? Question is like a hook. What's the hypothesis? That bhakti will improve my life and help me in the perplexities of life, in doubts, confusion. And what is the experimentation? Do the process of sadhana bhakti, like chanting, reading, hearing, etc., and under the guidance of proper authority or guru. And what is the observation and the record part? See the changes in yourself. One is able to feel, one is able to see. Okay, many of you are doing the sadhana bhakti process in some aspect, correct? Have you observed some changes in your life? Would you like to share? Like you pre-Krishna conscious or pre-joining ISKCON and now, do you see any positive changes in your life? I would like to hear some. Yes, Mishti?
Like I feel like I'm trying to apply the concept of like not getting worried when things don't go as well. Like if I get a bad grade on a test or if I just like don't feel like good, I'd be like it'll be Krishna's will. Like if something bad happens, it's his will. So it's like I can't some things you can't be in control of.
Very good. Thank you. Anyone else wants to share? Do you see any difference in your life? Any positive changes have come? when you started the process? Yes, Sampada.
I understood the concept of soul more, and I kind of like less compared myself with others, like related to the body matters and stuff like that.
Very good. Very thoughtful. Thank you. Anyone else wants to share? If we observe carefully, my dear friends, we'll all see so many positive changes in our life by developing a stronger consciousness, a more mental balance, a focused life, a life of balance, a life of principles. How many of you have experienced some positive changes in your academic life also? Hmm? Me personally, when I was in college, hmm, I experienced a lot of, positive changes by practicing bhakti. Makes life a lot more meaningful and of substance. Hmm. So, and then finally we draw a conclusion. That is a bona fide process. When we sincerely try, we develop divine qualities. We're able to overcome anger, passion, greed, right? Impurities are removed. And then finally, we draw this conclusion and then we share our findings. We share the joy. We share the joy of bhakti with our friends, with our relatives, with our, more and more people. Mm. I would like to add something here, an acronym, HOLES, right? So the first H in the bhakti stands for hear, right? So first we hear, as bhakti starts with Shravana. We hear the signs of Krishna consciousness, right? And expand our knowledge, as Sampada was mentioning, which is beyond our inherently limited sphere of understanding. So we broaden our horizon, we expand our field of discovery by hearing from a source, a bona fide source. Okay, so hearing is the most important. Then, sorry, it's O. O stands for observation. It's very similar to the 6 steps, right? We verify those paradigms. Let's say you heard that keep practicing. By practice and by detachment, we can control our mind. So we try to practice this path and we're able to change. We're able to feel the difference. We're able to see a positive change. So the O stands for observe. The L, which is very, very important, is to live. If we see some positive changes, like let's say you tried a sample of a thing, right? Like in some places they say, okay, try a sample. And if you like it, then you get the full product, right? So similarly, try a sample. This sample is free, right? Try a class of Bhagavad Gita. Try chanting for a week. Try, give it a time, right? In some cases, they offer free classes also, right? Like try the class for a week, try the class for 2, 3 days. And if you like, try to live more. Then so live means when things tally, it bolsters our faith and we feel inspired to apply many of these principles in our daily functioning. And we bring spirituality into the lab of life, right? We bring spirituality into the lab of life. The number E stands for experience. So what does experience mean? You feel, right? You have experienced, you're living, you're seeing the positive changes, the tangible experience that helps us to transcend. And it bolsters our faith or strengthens our faith. And finally, the S stands for sharing, right? So when we start living and experiencing, it strengthens our faith and we love to share. So it's very similar to, if you notice this aspect, right? So in this case, we the edge, right? It's more of hearing, right? We ask question, go to the bona fide guru, then we observe and live, right? Finally, we experiences, we draw conclusion, and finally the S, the share. Make sense? So bhakti is very, very practical and very, very scientific. And Bhagavad Gita is very, very practical book. It's a manual of life. It's very, very practical. Hmm. And therefore, Bhagavad Gita says that you can perceive it yourselves. Let's say you are hungry and you get a nice plate of prasad. Don't you don't you feel and perceive yourself, oh, I'm full now after honoring that prasad? The knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secret, and its purest knowledge. And because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. Okay? So we can experience it. So bhakti is not just some faith, it can be experienced. Yes, some faith is required. Absolutely. Some faith is required in every aspect of life, as we discussed. But when we keep sincerely doing this process, we'll feel the life will be so much joyful, meaningful, and happier. Any thoughts, comments so far? Okay, let's read a little bit more. Who wants to read this section? Yes, Jashan? Jashan?
Yeah. Faith is the very substance of spirituality. To protect and develop our faith is the greatest need in spiritual life.
Very nice. Faith is very, very important. Shraddha, right? The Sanskrit word is Shraddha. No amount of study of scriptures, austerity, or charity can help us know God. The only way is to follow the footsteps of the saintly people, right? So we need some faith, yes, absolutely. But this path, many have taken in the past, and no one has regretted. So if we also take this path, we'll be very, very happy. And how to develop that faith? By doing this sadhana bhakti. The more we do the sadhana bhakti process, which means A, B, C, D, E, association of devotees, reading books like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, chanting of the holy names, taking a spiritual diet, Krishna Prasad, and doing deity worship, and then make your home a temple. Have a sacred space in your home, in your study room, wherever you spend more time. And that becomes very, very sacred. So it's a simple process. Bhakti is simple for simple. And if we complicate, then we'll complicate it. We'll get complicated. Okay, I think today we have Kahoot also, right? So my dear friends, we talked about the faith and how spiritual life is very, very scientific. We'll keep this short today because we have the Kahoot also. So please memorize that verse, the six limbs of surrender. Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam. Rakshishati iti vishvasu goptritve varnam tatha atmanikshepakarpanya shadvidha sharana katihi. So this verse was given in the last class. So you please memorize if you have not done yet. And in the next class, we'll talk about Krishna's lotus feet. And we'll give you an art or a drawing project. How many of you like art, drawing, some? Okay. So I will actually post it even now. Like, so you have, it may take a little bit more time. So you can start thinking for working, you'll have basically now 2 weeks left, right? So I'm not giving like anything extra. So the artwork, it may take a little bit more time, so you'll have 2 weeks for that. And I'll share everything in a voice recording. Okay? It'll be a beautiful meditation. Any thoughts, comments, questions? So Vedant, thank you for joining. This is your first time. I know first time it could be a little bit hard to absorb so many things, but trust me, have faith that it will get a little smoother. And once you are in the flow, you'll be able to, absorb better, because joining transitioning is always a little bit tough, right? When you transition to a new school, new class, it will take time to adjust and kind of get into the momentum. Okay? But we are very, very grateful that you have joined. Okay? And we have a Kahoot which Vinita is going to share. So it's from the last, which class is that, Vinita?
It's the compassion one.
Compassion.
Real versus
Beautiful.
misplaced.
Okay, so everyone can, so Vinita will guide. Okay? Vedant, have you taken part in the Kahoot before?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're familiar. Okay, so Kahoot is going to begin. Thank you, Vinita, for preparing that.
Sure, Prabhuji. Okay. I will share the screen. Okay. What mode are we thinking? Do we just want to do classic today? Or okay, so I guess if no one responds, we'll just go along with classic. All right. There's the sorry, there's the pin. Okay. Is that everybody? Are you missing anybody? Okay. I think that's everybody, so we'll get started. Okay, question 1. What is not one of the 6 divisions of surrender? It's acceptance of things unfavorable. It's what is not. So you should not be accepting unfavorable things for devotional service. Okay, good. Almost everyone got that right. Okay. Question 2. What are the 2 levels of compassion, or I guess 2 types of compassion? I guess I should say. It's a better way to word it. Okay, physical and spiritual. I don't know who chose sweet and salty, but that is not it. Okay, oh, good job, everybody. An example of spiritual compassion is Are there only 7 people in the game? Did someone draw? Okay. Yep. All of the above. Oh, yeah, I mean, feeding devotees for Shalam is right, but they're all right. So, yeah. Okay. Good job. Spiritual compassion is more important than physical compassion. True or false? True. Okay. We'll elaborate more in the next question. Does this mean that physical compassion is unimportant? Yes or no? So, yeah, like physical compassion is still important, but it's not more important than spiritual compassion, if that makes sense. Okay. Question 6. Physical compassion is okay as long as it I hope this one makes sense. Aligns with our principles. Yeah, not monetary benefit. Okay. Real compassion is compassion for the soul. Good job. Everyone got that right. Okay. True or false? Good intentions are enough to show real compassion. I hope that made sense. As in, like, yeah, like good intentions are not sufficient enough. And I like by this you can take the examples of like KK's intentions for Bharat. She had good intentions, but was it really compassionate of her to do what she did in the story? No. So, like that. Think about it like that. Okay, true or false? It was okay for Garuda to eat fish.
With the Kahoot music.
I'm sorry? Did someone say something? Okay. So it was okay for Garuda to eat fish, that is true, because he's a bird. It's so like he's still a devotee of the Lord, and it's like Krishna's arrangements are such that he's like a devotee and he can do what is prescribed for him. So since he's a bird, he's gonna eat fish. Like Durga Mata has her lions, and lions eat deer, so the lion is gonna eat deer. That doesn't mean he's committing any type of sin because that is what's okay for someone of his species to do. So yes, it was okay for Garuda to eat fish. Okay. I hope that clears it up. Okay. Shabri Muni committed an offense by doing what? When he stopped Garuda from eating fish in the lake, how is he committing an offense? Red and blue are both correct. So, if you chose either of those, you're not wrong. Okay. 11. Shabri Muni's so-called compassion for the fish led to. You have to remember the story for this one. Yeah. Yeah, so because Garuda wasn't there to protect the lake, he wasn't, because Shabri Muni banned Garuda from eating the fish in the lake, so he wasn't allowed to be near there. So Kalia moved in and caused destruction everywhere. Okay. 12. How can you act in accordance with the Lord's instructions? Yes, by knowing if your actions are in accordance with the scriptures. And so the next question, how do you know if your actions are in accordance with the scriptures? Yes, all of the above, taking shelter of Guru, Sadhu Sangha, listening to and reading scriptures. If you do all of those things, you will learn how to act in accordance with scriptures. Okay. Let's look at the podium. Third place, Avni, yay. Second place, Baby, yay. And then first place, Mishti. Okay, congratulations, guys. And then fourth is Akshay, fifth is Eth. So I'll take a screenshot of this. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for playing the Kahoot. And see you all next Sunday. Vancha kalpatarubhischa kripasindhubheva cha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna. Have a good rest of your week.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Excuse me?